Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 4th February 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Before that, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars, but we are providing complete free training. All the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are at Supply Demand Zone Price Action Course playlist. In this playlist, all training lessons are placed. You need to start our training from lesson 1.1 and that is available at the bottom of the page. So scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. And please learn all these training lessons according to the training instructions I mentioned. The training instructions are available at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So please join at our Telegram channel. At the pinned messages, you will see the pinned messages at the top of the Telegram channel. So go to the pinned messages, access the training instructions, and if you learn according to the instructions, definitely you will be a very good independent trader in next 2 to 3 months time period. Okay, now let's get into report generation. First, I'm going to generate stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. And yearly to daily also, I will identify the stocks where price closed inside the demand and supply zones. So starting with the yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone, we got 3 stocks. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report and then proceed to the next report. In case if you does not understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next, yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. No stocks are available. For half yearly time frame, stocks near half yearly supply zone also we don't have any stocks. Half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone, we got 5 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone, 4 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly supply zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 29 stocks. So first 23 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Total 29 stocks. And these prices are closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We can further filter this list based on the quarterly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA Confluence, and trend in quarterly time frame should be either up or down, should not be sideways for EMA Confluence. So total 17 stocks are filtered out of 29. All these 17 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. You can look into the search filter. Always the search strategy will be helping you to understand how you filtered the report. Okay. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Out of 6, how many are having a quarterly EMA Confluence supply zones? So in the EMA Confluence at quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA Confluence, and trend on the quarterly time frame either up or down. With these filters, we got 3 stocks. These 3 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 37 stocks. First 18 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 37 stocks. We can further filter this list based on monthly EMA Confluence for the monthly demand zones. So in the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence, and trend on the monthly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 16 stocks out of 37. And all these 16 monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence, and current price closed inside the monthly demand zone. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many of these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence? Let us filter. The EMA Confluence, monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence, and trend on the monthly time frame either up or down. With these filters, we got 3 stocks. So this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 18 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 18 stocks. Because the list is big, if you want to further filter, you can filter based on the EMA Confluence. Let me set EMA filter. So in the EMA Confluence, monthly time frame, sorry, not monthly, this is weekly. Weekly time frame and a weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and trend on the weekly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, list is come down to 8. So these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So this is the way you can reduce the list by adding high probability parameters for each of these results. Okay, this is about stocks near weekly supply zone. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got a big list. We got 56 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. For the reference purpose, quickly let me scroll the list down. After that, we can further filter this list. So total 56 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We can further filter this list by setting EMA Confluence for the weekly demand zones. So in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And the trend on the weekly time frame, when you set EMA Confluence, it should be either up or down. With these filters, we got only 8 stocks. These 8 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Some of these demand zones are pierced demand zones. You can use a pierced zone strategy that you learned in lesson 28. Okay, next report for weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 30 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 30 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list by setting weekly EMA Confluence for weekly supply zone. So let us set the EMA Confluence filter on weekly time frame. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence and trend on the weekly time frame either up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 11. These 11 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence and current price is closed in those weekly supply zones. Okay, this is about a weekly time frame. Next time frame is daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. NIFTY IT is a pierced zone where anyway it is indices. Colpal is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. That's it. We have only one valid high liquidity, high priority daily high liquidity demand zone, daily demand zone in this list. Colpal. Okay, next daily time frame. Let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 17 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. Glenmark is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. That's it. We have only one high liquidity daily supply zone from this list. Only one stock. So far we identified 2. One from daily demand zone and another one is daily supply zone. Okay, before we move on to the 75 minutes, some more reports we have to complete on daily time frame. So entry time frame daily. Price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 24 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the daily demand zone. We can further filter this list by setting EMA Confluence. We can filter based on EMA Confluence. Daily demand zones having daily EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. And when you set EMA Confluence, the trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 7 stocks. These 7 daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, and a couple of these stocks, I think 3 stocks are pierced zones. Look into this column. Pierced zones, always you look into pierced column. If the demand zone is 0, it is not pierced. If the count is more than 0, it is a pierced zone. Okay, next, daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got a big list. We got 59 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Let me quickly scroll the list down so that you can refer any of the stocks you like. So total 59 stocks. We can further filter this list by setting a daily EMA filter to daily supply zone, because currently price closed inside the daily supply zone. So in the EMA confluence parameter, a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend on the daily time frame either up or down, but should not be sideways. Even then, big list. We got 20 stocks are filtered. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks are filtered. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 18 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes time frame. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 12 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. Atul is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Hindustan Copper is having a high liquidity demand zone. Metropolis is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. That's it. We have identified 3 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Next, 75 minutes time frame. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 18 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Let me scroll the list down. Okay, now let us identify high liquidity supply zone, 75 minute supply zones from this list. KPI Technologies, KPIT Technologies. It is a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Lupin is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Sriram Cement, it is a pierced zone, so you can't, but check whether it is having any either bull trap or a lower time frame zone origin. Otherwise, it can't be useful to us. And Torrent Power. Torrent Power is recently added stock, right? So total 3 stocks are identified. Let me check again. KPI 80 first one, loop in second one. This is not valid. So total 3. Yeah. We have identified 3 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. 10 stocks are filtered. Next 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes, stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Let us check any ITF Confluence stocks within 15 minutes demand zones. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes zone Confluence, demand zone Confluence. 2 stocks are filtered. So these two 15 minutes zones are part of the 75 minutes zone. Next 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Out of these supply zones, 6 supply zones, how many are having ITF Confluence? Let's verify. That is a 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. These 4 supply zones. In that second one is a pierced supply zone. Anyway, you can't use it. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Let's verify how many are having ITF demand zone Confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. With this filter, we got 1 stock. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame. Stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Let's verify how many of these stocks are having ITF supply zone Confluence. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone Confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. In that 4th one is a pierced zone. Even 3rd one is also a pierced zone. Okay, this is about stocks near demand and supply zones. Next, we will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let's start with NIFTY monthly time frame. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, this is NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Same rules you apply for the remaining reports. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. The nearest demand zone is serial number 28. Let me put it in the center so that for the current price, this is the nearest demand zone and 27th is nearest supply zone, and below demand zones and above supply zones. Okay, next 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. Let us look for demand zones. Yeah, 39 we have the demand zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay, all these are all this is below the demand zone, and 38 is the high liquidity supply zone, and above we have all the supply zones for the 5 minutes time frame. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. I am going back. So Nifty Bank, that is nothing but Bank Nifty, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. And the nearest demand zone is 18. So it is in the center. Fine. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Twenty-sixth is the nearest 5 minutes demand zone for the current closing price. Let me scroll the list and put it in the center. Okay. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for different income trades. For monthly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame is daily. Entry zone is demand zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement should always be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. Both the filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter the stocks. We got 14 stocks. And these 14 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame is daily demand zones. We have 14 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of these 14 daily demand zones, some are high liquidity demand zones. Okay. So that means some of these zones are already having some high priority to get success. But let us add even more high priority to get the success based on the zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So that is a daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. That means daily zone should be available as part of the weekly zone. That means overlap with weekly zone. Such kind of stocks, we got 7 stocks. Because daily is in weekly zone and weekly trend is up, and if weekly trend is having weekly EMA confluence, then these daily zones could be even more high priority to get the success rate. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a weekly time frame, because daily zone is part of the weekly zone, so we are setting weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 daily demand zones are even more high priority demand zones. Okay. This is based on LTF and ITF zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for HTF specific, LTF, ITF and HTF. Removing EMA filter, in the demand zone confluence, I should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, that is a daily and weekly. Second filter, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. That means everything is part of monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up in all the 3 stocks. So if monthly demand zone is having monthly EMA confluence, then these 3 daily demand zones are even much more high probability trade setup supported. In case if anyone is filtered, let's verify. In the EMA confluence monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got all the 3 stocks. So all the 3 are even more high priority supported daily demand zones, because they are part of the monthly and that monthly is having monthly EMA confluence. So this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at a daily time frame, I am selecting bearish and filters zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks. Let's check whether these 3 stocks are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So with this filter, all 3 are filtered. That means all these 3 stocks, these daily supply zones, these 3 daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all the 3 stocks, ITF trend. So weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA, they are even more high probability trade setup supported weekly zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence filter I enabled. All 3 are filtered. So all the 3 are high probability setup supported stocks. Next, we will verify if these 3 stocks are having LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly supply zone confluence. Second filter, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter, weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 1 stock. So that means this daily supply zone is overlapped with weekly supply zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways EMA, it does not add any advantage. So we are not filtering the EMA. If EMA confluence is there, it won't give any advantage. Sideways market. You already learned sideways EMA does not give any sense. Okay, this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, weekly income trade, bullish trade setup. Entry time frame 75 minutes. entry zone, demand zone, and in bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish, and 3 filters we have to set. First, 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced, so in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry zones are, entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All the 5 stocks, the demand zones are 75 minutes time frame. And if these 75 minutes, whether they are having high probability or not, you can check based on the zone confluence. Some are already high probability because of high liquidity zones. Apart from that, zone confluence is more important to check where exactly the location of these zones. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. That means the 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily demand zone. So we got 3 stocks. That means these 3 75 minutes demand zones are inside the daily demand zone, and daily trend is up in all the 3 stocks. Because if the daily 75 is inside daily, and if daily is having daily EMA confluence, then these zones are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 demand zones, 75 minutes demand zones, are even more high probability trade setup supported demand zones. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Next, third filter, daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 1 stock. HDFC Bank, this 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily. Both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up. If this weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence, HDFC Bank is even more high probability trade setup 75 minutes demand zone. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got this stock. That means this is even more high probability trade setup supported demand zone, this 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next let us look for, this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone supply zone, and in bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish, and 75 minutes supply zone we should set 3 filters. First filter, 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced, so in pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 14 stocks. These 14 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zone. We have 14 75 minute supply zones are there. Out of these 14, some of these 75 minute supply zones are high liquidity zones. That way they got some high probability to get the success. But we should add even more high probability to confirm the success rate. So first one is based on zone confluence, that is ITF and LTF zone confluence. Let's verify. That is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. This is demand zone. This is the one. 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. I enabled the filter. With this filter, out of 14, we got 8 stocks. And in these 8 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks. ITF trend. But 75 minutes is part of the daily zone. That's why let us verify daily zone is having daily EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence, a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 75-minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported supply zones. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly supply zone confluence. I removed EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled, 75 with daily. Second filter, 75-minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Third filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. That means in all the 3 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. That means everything is part of weekly zone. And weekly trend is down in all these stocks, HTF trend. If any of these 3 stocks, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, at a weekly time frame, the weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. These 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported stock. And moreover, Hero Motor has already tested once. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And the next daily income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. 3 filters we have to set. First filter, 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. Currently, these 5 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 5 15 minutes demand zones, some are already having a high probability based on the high liquidity 15 minute zones. But that is not enough. We need to look even zone confluence. First one is a LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. By setting this filter, we got 4 stocks. In all these 4 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. And moreover, 15 minutes zone is overlapped with 75 minutes zone. That's why if 75 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA confluence, those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In EMA confluence, 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we did not get any stocks. Okay, fine. Next, we will look for LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence. I removed EMA filter. So in the demand zone Confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone Confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 1 stock. So in this 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And the daily trend is uptrend, HT uptrend. If the daily demand zone is having daily EMA Confluence, then this 15 minutes demand zone is a high probability trade setup. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at daily time frame. Why daily? Because 15 minute zone is part of the 75, both together part of the daily. Everything is inside daily. That's why we are looking for daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence or not. So we got the stock. So M&M is a high probability trade setup supported stock. So this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I have to select bearish. And I need to set 3 filters to 15 minute supply zone. First filter is a 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score is 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. We got 9 stocks. These 9 15 minutes demand zones are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Sorry, these are the supply zones, not demand zones. These are the bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Sorry for the mistake. Bullish trade setup we already generated. This is bearish trade setup. And all these entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. And out of these 9 15 minute supply zones, some are already high liquidity zones. That way they got some high probability to get success. Apart from that, we should also look for more high probability to get success. So we will set 2 filters. First one is LTF and ITF based zone Confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. So I am enabling that filter. With this filter, let us verify how many stocks we get. We got 8 stocks. In all these 8 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And the 75 minutes trend is a downtrend in all these stocks. It is bearish trade setup. Because 15 minute zone is part of the 75 minute zone, supply zone, if that 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA Confluence, then those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence at 75 minutes time frame, 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay, next let us further filter based on LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence. Not this list, previous list, that is LTF, ITF. We got 8 stocks, right? That should be further filtered. So that's why I am removing EMA filter. Now we get those 8 stocks. On that we will apply HTF Confluence, supply zone Confluence. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone Confluence. 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 15 minutes supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in the 3rd and 4th stock. If any of these 2 stocks are having daily EMA Confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Daily supply zone with daily EMA Confluence. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, and trend on the daily time frame should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So with these filters, we got both the stocks. So both these supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. So this is bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, I will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for hourly income trade because one of our members requested. But the reason why I am not generating in the recent time is volatility in the market is very high. When market volatility is very high, you cannot go for HIT trades because there are higher possibility of zone violation. Because a trend will be changed very quickly when volatility is very high. So that's why dangerous. But anyway, one of you requested, let me generate so that you will experience. If market volatility is high, they don't work. But if the volatility is low, they give you good results. So for hourly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame is 5 minutes, entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 5 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish, and these 5 minutes demand zone we should set 3 filters. First filter, 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to 5 minutes demand zone. So with this we got 11 stocks. Currently, these 11 demand zones are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame is 5 minutes demand zones. All these are all 5 minutes demand zone. And some of these 5 minutes demand zones are high liquidity zones. They are already having some high probability. And we can look for even more high probability by setting zone confluence. First filter in the zone confluence is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 8 stocks. In these 8 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. They are overlapped with 15 minutes. Let's check if any of these 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. It is not easy, but we will check. In the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame, because 5 minutes is part of the 15 minute zone. 15 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence filter. We don't have any stocks. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter is 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Third filter is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got LTF, ITF, HTF stocks we will get. So we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Again, both together overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in 3rd and 4th stock. If any of these 2 stocks are having a 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA, maybe they have a higher success rate. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, not only that, the trend should be uptrend on the 75 minutes time frame. Sideways does not work. Anyway, bullish trade setup, uptrend. We got 1 stock. So this is a high probability trade setup supported stock. Probably that is the reason why it is already tested once and moving towards the supply zone, target zone. But anyway, it is an intraday. In case if it is tested, did not reach, we have to close. So this is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. And these 5 minute supply zone, we should set 3 filters. First is pierced count. The 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score is 12. All 3 filters are applied to 5 minute supply zone. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks. So these 8 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame is 5 minute supply zones. Out of these 8 5 minute supply zones, out of these, some supply zones are already high probability supply zones. I mean high liquidity supply zones. So that way they got some high probability to get success. But that high probability may not be sufficient. So let's verify even based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. Let us enable this filter. With this filter, we got 7 stocks. In all these 7 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zones. And 15 minutes trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of these 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA, there could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify if any. The EMA confluence, 15 minutes time frame, looking for 15 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. Okay. These 2 are even more high priority supported compared to the others. Next, let us filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, that is 5 minutes with 15 minutes. Second filter, 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Third filter, 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down for the first stock and 4th stock. If any of those stocks are having 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got both the stocks. So both these 5 minute supply zones are even more high. 5 minute supply zones are having even more high probability trade setup to get the success. Remember, success happens only when the volatility in the market is very limited. High volatility, what happens many of the times, 5 minute zones will be easily violated. Some zones will give success, but success rate is very low. Because nowadays volatility in the market is very high. They are moving, one day it is going up, one day it is going down and moving up and down very fast. So many swings within the intraday. That's why I am avoiding to publish until the market stabilizes, because one of you are requested, so I have generated this. But you should be very careful when you are using these zones. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I keep on scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.